Brooks, and I'm Seder, Emma Vigeland on the Majority Report. It's always a pleasure to welcome Lisha Brooks, Michael's sister. Lisha, for years, was doing the Michael Brooks Legacy Project, and you can still obviously check that out at youtube.com/TMBS, I believe is the URL. Lisha, Michael would have been 42 today. I know you just saw Milton and Harvey, two guests that he loved. But just wanted to check in and hear from you on this day. See, you have the painting. Oh, I remember that painting behind you.
Yes, I came to your house to rescue it.
That's such a cool one.
Yeah, thank you to all the amazing art that everyone made. I really appreciate it. Yes, so this year, well, first of all, about the Legacy Project, I'm in the throes of making this documentary about Michael, which has been like really amazing, and I can't wait for it to be done and be able to share it with the world. There's so many people that still are discovering his work, so it'll be so nice to just kind of have this place to kind of, talk about who he was as a young person and a student, and, kind of where he ended up and how he ended up impacting so many people around the world. Sam, when you asked if I wanted to come on last night, I was kind of, like, okay, is there anything like I can share that's like feels important? Or, what's the purpose of me coming on? And kind of what I landed on was, I think people really miss Michael's, obviously his humor and his analysis, but also just like, he was so focused on strategy. And like, it's kind of what you guys were hitting on with Harvey just now, but like, just like really wanting to win. And, he and I would talk about just like little strategies between us just to be like having better lives. And so I just want to share that one thing we were talking a lot about, like everyone else was being on our phones less before he died. And one thing that we kind of talked about, which I want to share with everyone, if you're kind of just looking for like something to do to like honor Michael or think about Michael, is that we were trying to doom scroll less and just be more like actionable. Like I'm gonna, donate to an organization, send an email, make a phone call, and have that, read an article, and just be like much more like disciplined. And obviously this is easier said than done with how we're like using our energy online. And I feel like I'm really just feeling such burnout and overwhelm and anxiety. And the days when I like make a donation, listen to an interview, and then just like delete the app, log off, I feel just like, okay, at least I did something. On the days I just like scroll and scroll and scroll, I oftentimes just get so overwhelmed, so depressed, and I don't take an action. I noticed like a correlation. So I thought that might be a nice thing to share. Obviously, the things I'm focused on are, the genocide in Gaza and helping try and feed people there. Emma, thank you so much for really carrying the torch. And the SNAP programs being cut. My family grew up dependent on food, support and food stamps. And that was a program my dad was dependent on. So my dad passed away 4 years ago on 9th. And so I try and honor him by donating to local food banks. So I know that was a massive monologue, but that was kind of what came to mind when I thought, okay, should I go on, and do I have anything to say?
I appreciate that. That's a great strategy, and something I certainly like. It's very difficult in the context of this job.
Yeah, of course.
To not feel like your doom scrolling is like productive, but there are definitely times where it is not. Are there particular Gaza charities or places that you donate? Ones that Michael may have had. I mean, it's a very different circumstance right now, or at least a far more urgent one.
Yeah.
But if folks wanted to make a donation, if not in Michael's name and his spirit, what might be good for you?
I've been looking just to like his, former colleagues and his the patrons are just like so amazing. And I follow a lot of people who are fans of Michael's who have kept me educated. I just see people posting various groups, and that's where I donate. You guys just had, Gaza Bakery was something you promoted. I don't. That may be a question for Abby Martin or people that Michael was, had a close relationship with, who had more of a, relationship with Gaza on the ground. I can definitely reach out to some former colleagues and see if something comes to mind, and you guys could mention it on a later show. But I don't have that answer offhand, no.
Okay. Well, I just wanted if there was something in particular, and if people wanted, obviously, just giving to a Gaza charity and doing it with Michael in mind, is, I think, accomplishes, what you can do at that point.
Yeah.
Were there other causes that Michael would have wanted people to contemplate the giving, just also in his spirit?
I feel like here, in the US, like one of the last things he was really talking about was just trying to just be like really aggressive and focused on food insecurity. And so there, there's obviously nothing is on the level of a genocide and people being starved to death, but obviously there's a lot of hunger and poverty everywhere in the world, but here in the US as well. So I think just like, local food pantries or groups. I always try and because we grew up in Western Massachusetts, I donate there, and I donate in LA because those are like the communities I'm in. But I think, Michael would oftentimes, if people were on strike, he would he was just very pragmatic with what was happening. He'd be trying to throw money around, just kind of taking action with who needed it, depending on what was going on. But I don't have a definitive, these were the places he was always donating to.
Well, Lisha, it was great to hear from you, and I hope people take that bit of advice, and good opportunity both maintain one's sanity through this period, hopefully a finite period, and also think of Michael on any given random day in that spirit. And of course, we're going to link to youtube.com/TMBS, and very much looking forward to that documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's just a place, if someone, it's basically just archival at this point, and it's a way to support the documentary and interact with the archives. And then one last thing I'll plug is Michael worked really closely with a woman named Susan Green, who was helping him with some of his more spiritual anxiety and depression and things like that. And she's writing a book. It's not out yet, but it's called The Goddess Remedy. So I know folks sometimes look for ways of trying to connect with a more spiritual side. And so I just wanted to mention that work as well. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for continuing to think of Michael, and hope you're all well.
All right. Thank you, Lisha. Great to hear from you.
Bye. Take care.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.